Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Tuning in on Field 5, we have the next game, the women's team of Mega Mad versus Rojaks Spicy Women. And I am Jess, will be your lovely host and commentator. And together with me, we have Jared again. Exciting times, huh?
Oh yeah. And I'm Jared, far less lovely than Jess. Sorry. Trust me, if you've seen both of us in person, you know that is absolutely true. But we are here, very excited to bring you a women's division match. Mega Mad against Rojaks. I did not catch Mega Mad's last game. What happened in their last game?
Well, I was able to catch that one, and they were pretty solid on their chemistry and their offense plays. They are pretty well-oiled team, I would say.
And they won that game. Okay, so that means Mega Mad is coming in at 2-0 into this one, I believe. If it's not 3-0, I lost track. With that win in the last game and a win over the Unicorns, and with Rojaks, their last game they lost a close one to PWR Endurance, and then they also lost to Unicorns in a battle. So Rojaks are coming in at 0-2 and Mega Mad at 1-1.
I haven't been able to catch any of Rojak's game earlier, but it seems that they were really close in both of their previous games, just by 1 or 2 scores. But excited to see how they put up a fight against Mega Mad this round.
Yeah, this is Mega Mad coming out with a score to start. So yeah, that's gonna give them a lead early, 1-0. Rojaks, yeah, 2 very close losses. With both games, they were very, very competitive in, and so they are itching for that first victory. It's a team that's very tough defensively, very organized offensively, but just haven't quite been able to put it all together to find a victory yet in this tournament. Meanwhile, Mega Mad is up to 2-0 in their. They're in this tournament. They have 2 wins, 0 losses, and they're up 1-0 in this one early. I can tell you, Rojaks are definitely itching for this first win. Coach Sam really wants to see something from this team. They've been playing well, but I believe they have been making him a little bit pick-chack. Mega Mad to pull. So good start for Mega Mad. They came in last year. They were 5th place in the women's division. Looking to improve on that this year. And let's see. Looks a little bit junky. Yeah, they're coming with a little bit of a zone, which if they weren't watching Rojak's last game, if they had been watching Rojak's last game, they would have seen that Rojak did have issues against the zone from the Unicorns, especially brought by my Cambodian people. So yeah, early Mega Mad comes out with the zone, and it forces a turnover, trying to get a break and go ahead 2-0. Squeezes it in there. Mega Mad finding space, working it up towards the goal line. A little bit of a way, which that is not what was intended, but that is what happened, and that is a score. Taking Mega Mad to 2-0. Where exactly? So Mega Mad is from China. Whereabouts in China? Do you know?
No, not quite sure. but definitely a very experienced team and have been playing for many years for sure. And as well as Rojaks, I believe they are quite a strong team in Malaysia, and definitely going to be a very tough fight for them.
Yeah, so anyone out there, please get in the chat and 告诉我们啊，McMahon 从哪里来了？我们不知道。So there. McMahon up 2-0, pulling away. Liu, assisted by 不知道. Once again, that's going to be your job to take care of the Chinese characters. I mean, I have to think during the break, Coach Sam did work these folks on their zone offense. So it's a good chance for them to practice. Take some patience. This zone as well is a bit of a bend not break zone, but now they are moving up and putting some pressure. But Rojaks find the space over, look to jailbreak it out, but the Mega Mad recovers. Doesn't lose all that much territory. And the hammer goes up. I'm a simple man. All I want in life is a women's game with a bunch of hammers in it. I'm very simple. That's what I love.
You know what would be better, Jared, if they scored with a hammer? That would be amazing.
And I think they can do it. Let's get those discs in the air. Oh! This zone is giving them trouble. They might have to warm with those hammers to get over this zone. Mega Mad takes the disc back up 2-0, threatening a 3-point lead. And I'll tell you, having watched this Mega Mad team, they're not afraid to put the disc up. That goes just a little bit too far. And we'll see. I'm assuming Mega Mad's going to come back with that zone that has been giving Rojaks trouble. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of space to work with there. But that is the space that's found. And they're going to try to jailbreak this up there inside of the brick line. Good choice, not throw it. One extra throw. They're just a couple meters outside the goal line. Goes back. There's a give and go. Looks for it. It's not there. Takes time. Stuck on the sideline. Will she try to jam it in there? She did a little bit of it away. It is not going to get there. Let's wait a second. And there is no call. Disc is turned over. Mega Mad takes over on their goal line. Not the finish they wanted. In the last game that I saw from Rojaks, they did a really good job working the disc across the field on their goal line set. This is not exactly what they wanted to do. She did have steps. It just disc floated a little bit farther to the left than she wanted right there. Mega Mad takes over on their goal line and gives it right back to Rojaks. Another goal line opportunity, and there we converted for Rojaks' first score of the game, bringing them within one, now only down 2-1.
So Jared, I just checked with the team. It seems that Mega Mad is actually from Guangzhou.
Oh, Guangzhou. Okay. Guangzhou, for those who don't know, this is a city in southern China, known for the sweet foods, actually. They have a sweet cuisine. And so, yeah. Well, how's about that? Back when I won the Shanghai Open in 1999 and 2000, there wasn't yet Ultimate in Guangzhou. Oh, hey, did I mention that I won the Shanghai Open in 1999 and 2000? Okay, good. It's important that you know that.
Not sure if I was born by then, no, Jared.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you weren't. All right, Rojaks to pull after the score. Little D comes out here. She's been their main puller and one of their defensive specialists out there, and she jacks it up. That's another one. That's one of her best of the day right there. Finds the corner of the field just over the goal line. And we get to see this Rojaks defense. The Rojaks, they have a really tough defense, especially close to the disc. They don't give you a lot of room. But so far, Megabat is finding a little bit of space, but not a whole lot. You see, the Rojaks D is very aggressive on the in cuts. So they're not giving up much space, not giving the in. And you can see Little D working that, covering that dump. And this is an area where that Rojaks have shown a lot of strength, is on the defensive side of the disc. Nice low throw, but it's going to float a little bit, and Rojaks takes it away. That's a big D for Rojaks right there. Not only because, of course, they get the disc, but also it's a confidence builder for them after a slow start and some troubles on the offensive side. Little D says, "Go up there." Trying to force it up the sideline.
They're really trying to find that space and manage to throw a break side throw there. Looking for more options now and resetting to the handler. Zipping through to the middle. Still looking out for options. It's a bit slow on the cutter side. It's also because I think Mega Man is poaching a little bit, so they're finding difficulties to really break through their defense.
Once again, now they have the disc near the goal line. It's about executing, finding the opening, and patience. You get near the goal line, and you just want to get it across that dang goal line as soon as possible. It's about finding the right option, the high percentage. Divya moves it up towards the goal line. They're just about 1 meter out. Divya goes up, and they find her around, and that's a score, and we are at 2-2. Bam, Little D finds some points. Just like that, we are at 2-2, and we are even up in this battle between a 2-0 team and an 0-2 team. But a lot can change in the span of a day. And Divya puts on a little celebration. She deserves it. And nice score for Rojaks.
As you can see, the weather's looking really hot out there. Ladies are trying to fan themselves with their jerseys, trying to catch a breather out there. So there might be a heat break they might call, so for them to actually take a breather and rest during this scorching heat wave.
Yeah, it's up to 34 right now. It's gone up a few degrees actually in the last hour. And it is getting toasty. I was kind of making fun of it at a 30-degree heat break. But yeah, we're at about 34, so it is getting toasty out there. And player health is most important thing for us, player safety. So I believe it'll be after this point we'll be taking a heat break. And so Rojaks come out. So this is a big point. You want the lead going into the heat break. Megmad takes it underneath. Trying to force it up the field. But this is, once again, this is an area of the game that Rojaks have been very strong. Their defense is really stout. But Megmad is able to work it up to the brick line, work it up towards the goal line, finding some space. And being patient so far. Thor directs traffic downfield back to the sideline. And that's a hard mark. Running out of time. Gets it up. And that's not going to get there. Looks like the thrower was running out of time. and not able to score. A big defensive stand by these spicy Rojaks. All right. What are Rojaks?
Do you mean the actual meaning behind Rojaks?
Actual or whatever you want to give me.
I mean, well, they are a club team in Malaysia, quite famous, and they've known for their really strong women team. So this is the one that you're looking at right now is one of their strongest team that you'll ever see, and yeah, and they've got a big forehand huck to just before the end zone and trying to look for options, but I think they need to reset to the middle. And good read on the receiver there, and just managed to punch it through the front of the end zone by Samo from Rojaks.
But isn't Rojaks a kind of food? That's what I want. Yes, I know. Yes, I know Rojaks is an ultimate team because otherwise I wouldn't be calling their game. But what type of food is Rojak, or is a Rojak as Rojaks?
The Rojaks is it's actually a mix of ingredients. So it can be fruit rojak, or there's the Indian rojak. Yes, you can definitely find that in Malaysia if you're wanting to try different foods here, since you know, a lot of international players are tuning in. Rojaks is basically a mixture of fruits and crackers. Then we'll sprinkle it a little bit with some prawn paste. It might throw off some people because it's a bit stinky, but we Malaysians really love Rojaks. So, and the women's call themselves spicy, so they are definitely spicy out there.
Well, thank you very much for that. And that's what I want to know. I want to know these things. One of the cool things about having a tournament like this and being able to play in Southeast Asia is just the diversity of foods, cultures, languages, peoples. So that's really cool. And yes, we did go to a heat break. And that'll be a couple minutes of a break. And yeah, with Rojaks having taken the last 3 points, heat break. Weather is excessively hot. A heat break is called to allow players to cool down and rehydrate. All fields must finish their current point and take a 4 minutes break. That happens every 5 points. Game time does not stop during the heat break. In the bottom corner, we do have some of our sponsors. Thank you to all of you for making this tournament happen. Peak Flow makes nice chairs. I have one of their chairs. It's really cool. Greatest, I have a first edition Greatest bag. Still holding up there. Altiscore, a great place where you can keep score for your tournaments. A lot of good stuff. And Trio, the name sponsor, and the folks who make all of my shorts.
Yeah, and just a little shout out to Trio Invitational Tournament. So, fun fact, do you know that this is probably their 10th year running trio, and apparently it was started as a small tournament with just 8 teams, and the idea back then was to really just to raise funds for the campaign and also to get international teams within the region to play against Malaysia's first national team that was going to U24 Worlds in Perth, Australia. So that was 10 years ago, and here we are. The arguably is one of the biggest tournament in the region.
10 years, man. That's more than half your life. Dang.
I'm not that old, Jared. I mean, I'm not that young. That's what I meant. I'm not that young.
No, it's a great event. A great event, one I've come to for the last couple years, and they've been great enough to let me participate on the mic here, and I really enjoy it. It's a very fun tournament. It's nice to have a tournament that have mixed men's and women's divisions. And a lot of great action here, a lot of great people. Good times. And I wasn't lying. Like, really, all my shorts are trio. Like, I think they make the best shorts in the region. So if you're like me, if you are a foreigner with a big butt and you need some comfortable shorts, think trio. I mean, Ben, I can do your advertising for you. And it looks like they are coming out of the heat break. Now, the interesting thing is the clock will keep running. So we're looking at heat breaks are going to bring the score down. Because that 5 minutes, we're at 3-2 and we're already down under 44 minutes. So really this makes every point even more valuable. Now, this might be one where I would say, and I look for this, this is one where I would say the Malaysians are going to have the advantage in this heat. This is one that, folks down here are used to playing in this. Whereas I think Mega Man not quite as much. It's a small advantage, but I do think, running around in this kind of heat does take some training.
So on the line, there are a couple of familiar faces that I see I've played against them, and they're wonderful to play with as well. And definitely up against the team it's gonna be a tough one. So I definitely know D. There is June on the line as well. We have Vanessa, who's just gave birth, by the way. She's back on the field. Really nice to see her on the field again.
What happened to Vanessa?
She just had a baby.
Oh, amazing. Congratulations. How cool is that? Oh, welcome back to the field. All right, and away we go. Mega Mad taking the disc to the brick mark. Rojaks come out. They open with the hammer, but Little D pulls that in. And immediately Rojaks have an opportunity to extend their lead. Just tight enough, finding that tight window, getting it in there. It goes right out in front there. Just 1 meter out right now. Are they going to try to force it in, or are they going to be patient? They work it back. Still on the sideline, though. Just a little small window. D works across, but then a break mark to the middle. And they go right back to that corner. No, they look at it. They push it back over the sideline. And they're able to work it to the middle. They're going to try to swing it across the field. Doesn't go. Stops in the middle. And the inside out floats a little bit into a contest. That's one she probably wants back.
Yeah, and knowing June, she attempted that layout catch at the end. And knowing her, I think she would definitely want to get that. And fortunately, it was going down a bit too quick there.
So Megmad comes out and looks like a little bit of a zone coming out by Rojaks. Changing it up a little bit. And Megmad working across the field. Finding a little bit of space in the middle. Still haven't made it to the brick mark. Working it back. Rojaks putting on some pressure. Megmad finding a hole, hanging it up there, and it looks they're looking to jailbreak. They have a few steps. Slows back down again, and it looks like the Rojaks have shifted to a match defense with Megmad at about half field. Working down the sideline. Megmad now just about 8 meters outside the goal line, forces it into a small window, and are able to score and tie it up at 3-3. think an interesting call by Rojaks going to a zone right there. Their match defense has been pretty darn good recently. I appreciate the changing up of the pace, trying to check whatever adjustments that Megamad was going to make at that point. Didn't quite work out. I could see them going back to their lockdown match defense once again. But now Rojaks are starting on the offensive side of the disc at 3-3 with under 39 minutes left. All right, Rojaks to pick it up on the offensive side. And Megamad doing a little poaching, a little bit of zone coming, forcing Rojaks around. It's been an area where Rojaks have struggled so far this tournament. Good train trying to find some space in the middle. Megamad forces them towards the outside once again, piling up that middle. Considering the hammer. A little close to their own end zone for that. A little bit risky. Rojaks goes ahead. Tries to find some space around. Able to stretch out and catch it. Moving across the field. Tries to find the middle of the field. Still short of the brick mark. Megamad's able to close it all off pretty quickly. And there's the hammer. Nice middle of the field. You gotta go to the... Very aggressive defense by Megamad, and they look to aggressively go right. Unfortunate. That almost looked like a bit of a misread by the receiver right there. That did land pretty close to inbounds.
Perhaps the wind caught up quite a bit at the end, and she didn't expect it to reach just at the back of the end zone. So you can see there she's like probably saying it's so close.
Yeah, it was interesting. If you actually watch her going back on that, you saw her look down at her feet a couple times looking for where the line was, losing track of this. It was going to be a very difficult catch. Anyway. All right, it goes up and it's floating. And that's a very strong reception right there. Rojaks have a chance to break it out, but they slow it up. They decide to be patient. Megamad recovers, but Rojaks are just outside of the brick line. Megamad stays in that zone. Rojaks work it inside the brick line, out towards the sideline. Rojaks looking to get it off the sideline. Not much room to work. They're able to keep it in, restart the stall. And looks like some type of little stoppage. They might be checking on if that was inbounds. I'm not exactly sure. It just looks like it's going to stay, and then they're asking for a translator. So you've heard my Chinese. I'm going to go head down and help out with the translation.
Mine's probably not any better, to be honest. But yeah, you can actually call for a translator in a tournament, especially when there are a lot of international teams out here playing in Malaysia. So English might not be their first language.
It looks like a sideline issue here. Where exactly she caught the disc. Whether she declared herself in. Now they're checking on stall. Looks like a 6 stall they're talking about over there. Yeah, stall's coming at 6. That's 6, right? The Hawaiian hang loose sign right there is the Chinese sign for 6, with the pinky and thumb extended.
How would you do 6?
That's why we're given two hands. You open up one, that's 5, and you add a little pointer finger from the other hand. Very simple. Rojaks work it off the sideline, a little bit patient, move it back towards the brick mark. Looking towards the goal line, patiently moving it across. We are in a 3-3 game. Very, very tight. 33 and a half minutes left until cap. Megabad back in that zone. Once again, Rojaks being patient, crashing it up the sideline. And this is where Megabad wants, but they give a little space up through the middle and then back to the sideline. Just a meter out, and that is a score. Rojaks looking a lot more comfortable against the zone now. Megabad not able to seal it up, and that'll be 4-3 for the Rojaks. And the Rojaks D-line comes out. Last time they were out, they came out in a zone. We'll see what they do now. I feel like their match defense has been so tough so far in this tournament. Really, really hard to imagine that they're going to go back to zone, but we will see. Unpredictability is the key. Big man squeezes it and on the way to the end zone, just a few meters out, and a D foul, no contest.
Uncontested. Just looking for options now for reset and squeezes in that dumb throw. Oh, and there's minor contact, but she's alright. She's up again and punches in with a short backhand throw into the end zone, which gives Megamed another score, which is going to be leveled, I believe, 4-4.
Yep, 4-4 game with less than 31 minutes to go. And you know, this is how it goes. It's an even matchup between 2-0 team and an 0-2 team. You know, both teams still in the hunt, still trying to compete. Heat beaten down a little bit. And yeah, big battles on this beautiful Bermuda grass. And Yunhan from Lee Shinger. Megamad 2 pull, 4-4 game. Finds sliding disc over towards the sideline. Megamad fights her way down. Rojaks starting just about 5 meters outside of their end zone. Megamad comes back with that zone. Rojaks did well against it. Last possession. Rojaks tried to find space in the middle. Floats one over to the middle of the field. Hammer goes up. That was going to be tough. A big floaty hammer there. not a lot of space to work with. That was a tough decision right there. It made a little bit of frustration being shown. And Mega Mad takes over on the sideline, trying to take the lead. Works it to the middle. Across the field, seeing a little bit of space. Oh, just off her fingertips. That's definitely the kind of execution that Mega Mad wanted on the end zone, but just out of her hand. Not sure, was she looking down at the goal line? Not sure where she was. That just a little bit surprised. That's one I'd expect her to catch right there. Just, but things happen. Rojaks take over. Once again, fighting the zone just outside their goal line. That should be a foul. A little bit of a discussion first. And looks like a foul contest.
Come in on 0.
It was a quick throw, so it is coming on 0. Rojaks work it back into their end zone. Patiently moving farther back in the end zone. Mega Mad keeps that zone on, not giving Rojaks anywhere comfortable to throw to. They find a little bit of space, moving forward out towards the goal line, work it down towards the sideline. And put the disc up. That is hanging. She had some space. Defender closed down. That is a reading victory right there. Then she puts it into space again. 2 big contested catches by the Rojak women. And that is where it's at. The Mega Mad defenders had shots at both those, but they did not pull it down, and Rojaks come out with the point to take the lead 5-4.
Really love how confident the Rojaks women's. They are really just putting out all that fancy throws out there. And doesn't seem to stop them from keep trying, time and time again.
You know, yeah, at some point you got to go ahead and slam them on the table and say, yeah, let's go ahead, one-on-one. Going to put the disc up and see who brings it down. And the Rojaks brought it down both times on that possession to take the point. Now they come out with the D-line with Little D with the pull. Divya winds up. Ooh-ah. It goes up in the air. It's going to drop around at the brick mark. Rojaks come down. Zoni. Nope. Match, excuse me. Nope. Zoni. I'm confused. Is it me who's... No. Yeah, there's a player off the side of the field. I'm like, what is this player doing over here? Contested throw. Rojaks take over. They have a lot of space to work with. Eyes bigger than her hands. Mega Mad takes over, throws it very close to the ground, and it's just going back. They decide, I don't know.
It might be a travel call, and that's why they just decided to bring it back.
I would say that's quite adept analysis. I think you are absolutely right there. Mega Mad works it over the sideline. Little high backhand. Little D says, look, I ain't that little. Throws it out front. Rojaks with a chance to go up by 2, and let's see what's going on here. Maybe a foul on that throw that Divya defended? Is that what we're talking about? I know you can't hear us down there, players, but please, hand signals help.
Yeah.
All right, Rojaks get the disc back, and they are working it up, looking to take a 2-point lead just outside of the sideline. Time to be patient. They're going to look, and they don't jam it up the sideline. They're going to look to play to the middle and around, but just floats over the receiver's head. Right idea, trying to be patient. You make the right decision, just an execution error. Unfortunate for Rojaks. Fortunate for Mega Mad, who will take the disc once again on their goal line.
Rojaks in the defense again. I'm not quite sure what they're playing here. There is some poachers happening in the field, but Megamet seems to be comfortably passing through all the defenders and managed to score that one just at the end zone, cross field, forehand.
That's one of those throws that looks so easy when someone that skilled throws it. You know, because yeah, that's just a gorgeous throw. And yes, she had a lot of space. Yes, she had steps. But that's an easy throw to screw up. And, I mean, I've never screwed that up. But I'm saying for maybe other players like you might screw it up. I wouldn't, you know. I've never turned the disc over in my 32 years of playing Ultimate. Anyway, beautiful finish right there. And that brings us to fives and a heat break. And that will probably also bring us to a mirror half. I'm not sure if it matters at all. But that's going to be halftime as well, and we'll take a little bit of a break here for the players. And I might take a break myself. I'm going to take a little breath. A heat break. When the weather is excessively hot, a heat break is called to allow players to cool down and rehydrate. All fields must finish their current point and then take a 4-minute break. Happens every 5 points. Game clock does not stop. We see a lot of red in there because we got Rojaks and Ashok as well. In a 5-5 game. And we just go on to under 20 minutes. 5-5 game, Rojaks versus Mega Mad. So what do you want to see from Rojaks with the last 20 minutes of this game?
Definitely more patience, I would say. I mean, they've already got the amazing throws throughout the entire game, but I think if they just take a breather, just like 1 or 2 seconds before they actually throw, I think they can actually make this work. Yeah. What do you think?
No, I think you're right. I think they need to keep doing what they do well and do it better. Really lock in on the defensive end. That D team that they have is really tough. I don't need to think they need to shift to a zone. I think they're great at covering the handlers and being very aggressive. But there have been execution errors. I think that's something they need to work on. I mean, of course, how do you improve execution errors? Just throw and catch better. Yeah, easier said than done. But it's just a very, very even matchup, and really, it's about kind of using their energy. It's about being aggressive, and with this heat, getting your legs to keep moving quickly. And it's telling yourself that you got to go hard. And this might, in the end, between the two teams, come down to who works the hardest, who cuts down the defensive distance the fastest.
Or rather, who's more hungry than the other? Who's ready to makan, as you say?
Yes, for those of you who aren't as fluent in the local lingo as I am, makan means to eat in Malaysian and Indonesian. And one thing that's great to makan is fan. No, I'm mixing up languages right here. You can makan some Rojaks, if you so desire, which has shrimp paste. That's funky.
Yeah, have you tried?
I haven't actually. But my curiosity has definitely been sparked. But there is a lot of great food down here. What do you recommend for visitors to Malaysia? What should visitors eat while they're here?
Definitely our national dish, nasi lemak. You can definitely find it at any kopitiam. Kopitiam is basically like our hawker centers or any street side food. You can easily find them, and they're cheap as well. Good for your body.
What is nasi lemak?
So it's coconut rice with a splash of sambal. Sambal is like a chili paste that is grind up, and it goes really well with the coconut rice, and it's usually served with some eggs, some cucumbers, and that's basically our breakfast.
Oh, yeah, the mix of the sambal and the coconut rice, having a little bit of sweet, a little bit of spicy there. Outstanding. Lot of great food here. I'll tell you about two other places that have great food. Tell you about Hanoi, Vietnam, and Siem Reap, Cambodia. Two places that have great food and have hat tournaments coming up the end of October and November. Last weekend of October, Hanoi hat. First weekend of November is going to be the Siem Reap hat. Direct flights available. Go to Hanoi, Vietnam. Enjoy the amazing hospitality that Dang and his team have to offer. Have some bia hơi and some bún chả, and then come on down to Siem Reap, Cambodia, and enjoy the amazing temples of Angkor Wat and the amazing fish amok and the foods that we have to offer. So definitely hit those tournaments. And talking about tournaments, we have Trio Invitational going on right now. Rojaks being forced back towards their goal line. The Mega Mad defense, the zone making the Rojaks work, not giving them much space, but Rojaks have found a little bit of space in the middle, and something is up, and that is an injury substitution. And I appreciate this call. Sometimes you're injured on the field and you want to kind of fight through it, which is not often the best decision for your team or your body, in fact. Sometimes you actually need to get off the field, and the rules of Ultimate allow you to do that. And, of course, it's not a rule like all rules of Ultimate to be abused, but she was clearly not abusing that rule. She wanted off the field. She is not happy. She is hurt. Anyway, Rojaks with the disc trying to fight through this zone, finding a little bit of space in the middle, and it goes up big. Rojak, it's going to be tight going towards the disc, and the Mega Mad defender's able to close the distance. At first, the first couple steps, it looked like the Rojaks Cutter was going to be able to get down and use her length to take that disc, but the Mega Mad defender is back there playing deep for a reason. Very speedy, and it was all Mega Mad in the end. But those kind of throws are fun, very athletic. And then Mega Man gives up the disc, and it goes right back to Rojaks, who throws the disc in the air, and it is cleaned up by number 74. Big score to take the lead right there. I didn't see where the turnover happened, but it was enough for Rojaks to pick it up just 2 meters outside. A little bit of a curly high backhand. There's a decent bit of knowing your receiver right there, knowing she's going to be able to pull that in, and that is a lead for Rojaks 6-5 with just 13 minutes till cap. Samantha to Yu Jue Yuan.
We call her JY.
JY.
Yeah.
That's a lot easier.
Looks like somehow it's could be a halftime. I saw D kind of threw the disc onto the other side, so they are actually starting on O now.
Very interesting. So somehow that, I mean, I almost feel that should have, I don't know, the rules should have happened right after the heat break. I don't know. Whatever, so I think you're right on that, because it looks like Mega Mad will pull. Rojaks just scored and will be receiving the disc with just 12 minutes left. And Rojaks, that puts Rojaks in solid control right now. Even though Rojaks scored, you have to think Mega Mad will be coming back with that zone. It has been giving Rojaks trouble. Last possession ending in a long Huck turnover, which somehow was turned back over. But let's see. So Mega Mad to pull down 6-5 with 11.5 to go until cap.
Mega Mad with the pull, but it has landed outbound, so looks like Rojaks call the break perhaps. So they'll be able to start from the center of the field. And yes, we can confirm that D is in fact walking to the break mark.
Definitely a little small victory for Rojaks right there. Against this zone, they would much rather be in the middle of the field, and she just winds up. You know, it doesn't matter where she was going to be on that field. She was going to just jack it on down there. So Mega Mad to take over just outside their goal line. So yeah, there's no question that was the plan all along. Let's see what they come out for defense. On the surface, it looks like they are starting match, which I like. It's been effective. Cutting down to close, a little inside out, really pretty throw right there. That is just better, good defense, but better offense. But then a mistake puts it up. Rojaks having a chance to go up 2, but is it?
It's a score.
Is it? Is it?
It looks like.
Did she?
Yeah.
Divya, really? Oh.
And looks like.
And that looks like a double cramp right there, both legs.
Looking at her teammates, they are also having some smiles on their faces, knowing that she did work really hard for that score.
Little D, which leg is it? It's both. Yeah, she's. Look at this work. Just past Divya, lays out and grabs it. And, you know, it's always great to make an awesome play, But there are some times that are better than others, and this was a massive time for a massive play. Little D takes it and puts Rojaks up 2 with under 9 minutes to cap. Wow. And away we go. Wowzers. Now, one thing that's actually interesting about that play is Devio's been a big part of their defensive line going out. And, you know, if she's going to miss any time, she has been almost not only playing-wise, but also kind of a spiritual center for that D-line. I'm not sure how that's going to affect them moving forward. But they are coming out on D, and they are coming out with a match defense. Mega Mad finds a way to get it across the field. There is some open field towards the center. Rojaks not giving them a whole lot of space to work. Mega Mad able to get a couple touches, couple resets, not working disc up very much. Very difficult mark, and
amazing hand block by Rojaks.
yeah, there was a lot of lockdown right there,
Yeah.
and it was just Mega Mad trying to find an angle where there wasn't any. Rojaks take over with an opportunity to take really big control of this game, but then it goes awry. Mega Mad takes over. But Rojaks is able to set that D quickly. Mega Mad works up the sideline a little bit, considering something big, but no. Reset, swing, work the disc across, finding a little open space. Very close to the sideline, she squeezes it. Considering going down the sideline, there's not much room to work with there. Just out of reach. Not sure she needed to bend that so much. Not sure she needed to blade that so much. Would have liked to see maybe a flatter, floaty throw. Let your receiver do the work on that one. But it looks like a call of some sort, discussion of some sort. Let's see what's going on. Clock continues to tick inside of 6 minutes still cap. And once again, there's some pointing. And turnover stands. Rojaks to play from their goal line. Mega Mad comes out with the zone once again. Very tight space.
Oh, that was an opportunity for a Callahan to happen.
But it was a turnover on the goal line, and it will be Mega Mad's disc on the goal line. Just have to move the disc up a little bit for the score. Rojaks looking to make that not happen, and they are effectively able to make that not happen, but there is some sort of call. Mega Mad thinks about it for a moment and says, nah, there ain't nothing there. Rojaks take over on their goal line. With the zone, Rojaks work it up and then looking to find some space. Ambitious, very ambitious right there. But I think Rojaks may be a little happy just to get it up the field, but Mega Mad says, nah, it's coming back. Rojaks is back on their goal line. Mega Mad's going to come with that zone again. Finding some space up the sideline.
Oh.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I believe it's uncontested, so it goes back to Rojaks, and they are looking to break into the middle, but seems to be struggling a little bit and squeezing to the sideline. Manages to get to the break side and maybe a little floaty. Oh, and she managed to catch that. And it's floating and just in time for her to catch. And what an amazing D again from Mega Mad. They are really on fire. They really want this point.
Yeah, really with Rojaks with about 3 players unguarded, that's an easy one to give up on. But there was no giving up from number 51. She fought her way back to get the D at the end there. That took a lot of work, a lot of heart. And you can see it's taking its toll. But yeah, there was no give up right there. That was a lot of fight. And that may be keeping them in the game right there. All right, looks like timeout. Timeout with just 3 minutes to go till cap. Rojaks up 2. Big moment of the game right there. It was a really big defense. Mega Mad came out with that zone that's been giving Rojaks trouble. Rojaks found space and were able to jailbreak out to basically a 2-on-0 break at the end there, but were not able to finish. Absolutely spectacular way to fight back to the disc, number 51, with the defense for Mega Mad, keeping them in this game with 2.5 minutes left. With the disc in Mega Mad possession, it's an interesting timeout call. I think I get it. It makes sense. You settle the team down, but with the clock where it's at, you do shorten the amount of time that you're going to have to come back into this game. Yes, once again, the clock runs out. We're going to be adding one. To win the match, you do have to win the final point. But still, you'd want a little bit of time to work with, perhaps. But once again, that's why I am up here and not coaching down on the field. Mega Mad to take over with just over a minute. This is most likely the last point before cap. So it's either going to be 7-6, game to 8, or 8-5, game to 9. Let's see what happens. Rojak sets that match defense. Mega Mad picks up on their goal line. Last time they had possession, they said, we're going to send this. This time they're taking a little bit of time, finding some space in the middle with in-cuts. And this could go up here. Being patient. Finding some space in the middle. Very steady, work it up. Ooh, working close towards the goal line. They're inside the red zone right now.
Seems like there was a travel. So
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, she puts it and just so short, just by the fingertips.
And she saw what I saw right there. She saw the Rojaks defender's back, and she saw that she was face guarding. So when you see that, you put the disc somewhere, but you need it to float enough that the receiver's able to get there, and it just didn't quite have enough float to it. Rojaks take over with a chance to extend their lead to 3 in the last point before the cap. Mega Mad comes out with that zone. Very annoying. Rojaks got to go back into their end zone. Mega Mad trying to shut down, throws through the middle, forcing them to go across the field. Rojaks is able to find some space in the middle of the cup, work it just slightly out of their end zone and work it right back. Able to get it across the field. finding a little bit of space here, but the Mega Mad defense has been tight, and that is a foul, and that is not contested. She's going to take possession right there. And this goes up. Not what she was looking to do with that disc. Definitely want to be throwing it farther and flatter. But we don't always get what we want, do we? All right, so Mega Mad takes over, works the disc through the middle, a little bit of a give and go. Find their way even with the brick mark. 25 meters out. Dumps it back to reset. Throws directing traffic. And this goes up. There's some. That is gorgeous. Right between two Rojak defenders, squeezing it, keeping her toes in, tightening the game to 7-6, game to 8.
Really lovely read there by the Mega Mad's receiver there. And she was very, very cautious not to step out before, before catching the throws. Catching the throw at the end zone. So, great awareness there.
And away we go, 7-6, game to 8. And Rojaks to receive the pull. All they got to do is score 1 point. Mega Mad's going to go ahead and need to score 2 points, 2 defensive points right here. But it is a battle. And let's see what happens here. Mega Mad to pull, likely bringing that zone once again. And away we go, game to 8. Pull gets just inside of the brick mark, center of the field. Mega Mad comes with the zone. Rojaks they wanted to put it up. They had that set, but this, whoa, no.
Oh dear.
Cramps, hopefully cramps. Looks like cramps. Yeah, looks like the way, yeah, they're stretching her, looks like cramps.
Looking at the replay here, you can see, it's a bit of a unfortunate for the Rojaks spicy women.
She had a lot of space to run into, but physically running was not going to happen at that point. The muscles in a leg said no running. So that is a turnover. Mega Mad is going to take over the disc, looking to tie this game up in extra time.
What do you think, Jared? Do you think they will go to UP? What are you expecting to happen?
Well, it would be an interesting trip for them to go to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I'm not sure that they have time because I think they have more games today. But it's a really nice vacation spot, so it's a great suggestion on your part. So, I'm very curious why you asked me that. But anyway, now as far as the possibilities of them going to Universe Point, we're gonna see. It's been such an even game that it's the Rojaks defense has been good. It's really hard to say. It looks good. Rojaks take over. Just need to finish, and they put her right back to Mega Mad. Mega Mad's going to probably look to put the disc up. No, they're looking for some space in the middle of the field, working down the sideline, getting some thrower directs traffic, puts the disc in the air to a perfect spot. Ooh,
that's a tricky
very
one.
low throw. Did she have possession before it went down to the ground? Once again, it's not about what really happened. It's about what the players on the field think happened and what they can persuade the other of. I'm going to take a wild guess and say this is going back to the thrower.
Well, we had some Rojaks players putting their hands up, signaling that it was down. So I think the receiver is now trying to decide, I think, or she's trying to get everyone's opinion on what happened. And so there is a discussion still going on.
See, this one is a really hard one because the other players on the field can judge when it hit the ground, but only the receiver can judge when she had possession of it. So each side has a little bit of information, but not enough to make a full decision. It's one of the hard things about self-officiation. It's just the limits of information. So going back to the thrower, kind of what we saw happening, and not a terrible result. I think it's a fair result. Because in total objective terms, who really knows what happened? Other than me, but I'm not going to tell you. All right, away we go. Mega Mad takes over at the brick mark. Goal line possibility. Looking to tie the game at 7s. Work it to the sideline. Just about 10 meters out from the end zone. Get over there. You traveled. Okay, let's start again. Looking to throw under. Mega Mad with possession. Not a whole lot of room. Rojaks working hard on defense. Mega Mad finds it. Finds the end zone. They are in. And ladies and gentlemen, we are headed to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
What did I tell you, Jared? What did I tell you?
And we are off to double match point, often called universe point. In this battle, it's been a great battle. 7-7 between a 2-0 team and an 0-2 team. Both teams still in the running. Very equally matched all the way down. And it's going to be Mega Mad to pull to Rojaks to see who comes out with this victory. And we continue here on center court. Field 5 at the lovely Putrajaya Equestrian Park, just outside of Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we are at 7-7. So this is the final point for this game. And we will start with Mega Mad to pull.
And I would say that the last few points have been pretty sloppy. It's gone back and forth, so it's really hard to put a prediction as to what's going to happen here. Mega Mad comes out with that zone that's given Rojaks some trouble. That's got them a few turnovers along the line. Mega Mad's closing up all the holes. Rojaks has to work it straight back. Yeah, this is a very annoying zone to play against. The Mega Mad defenders are covering a lot of space. They're moving around. They're not stationary. And Rojaks just have to put it up. Ooh, that one's interesting right there. Rojaks.
Spicy indeed.
That was spicy indeedy. It goes up.
Goes up, out, and just.
Wow.
Just again at the fingertips of the Rojaks.
And they go right. I love that, man. You got a tall woman like that. She's got those long arms. Like They're like, let's go. Let's put it up. And she's got steps. So looks like the thrower probably wanted to throw it a good bit further. Wasn't super sad by the hangy disc, but the very strong defensive play by the Mega Mad woman right there. Even though the catch before that looked, it could have been a little pushy push there. But no need. And this, she wants to put it right back up, going back. Mega Mad walking the sideline. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. Any discussion? No discussion. Mega Mad catches it on the sideline, patiently works it back. Looking for another reset. She goes crossfield a little bit low. Not low enough. She's able to catch it. Mega Mad squeezes just outside the brick line, inside the brick line. Here in the scoring zone, trying to score to finish this off. The help defense comes over. And she's like, please, I want that D. It is not, she's not there fast enough. Mega Mad pulls back 3 points in a row at the end to take the victory in a masterful, super contested game. Absolutely hard fought. Hell of a game. 8-7. Scored by 7.
A fantastic contest between the two. Very, I would say, evenly matched at this juncture of the day. And credit to both teams for running their hardest. And I hope those who were subbing for their injuries, I hope they are okay.
Yeah, the cramps are beginning to kick in. I believe probably both these teams have one more game today. It's going to be interesting to see how those injuries play out as the day goes on. But that is game. That is 8-7 Mega Mad. Woo!
What a journey, huh?
All right, yeah. So, and I think that's our last. Oh, no, we're still working. Me and Jess are back. Me and Jess got more work to do today. I'm going to be sticking around on Field 5 for whoever they're putting me to watch. I can't do the research. TPV versus. Oh yeah, it was a pending game. So TPV versus CB. CB is probably Care Bears. Yeah. TPV.
So TPV, that will be Tainan Panda V versus Care Bears. So that will be our mixed teams coming up on Field 5. And I'm Jess. I will be signing off from Field 5, but don't worry, I will be in the other field, Field 2, and Sean will be taking my place together with Jared on Field 5. So catch you later, guys.
All right. See you, Jess. And away we go. And I'm going to cut out, take a little break, and I will be back momentarily for a mixed battle on Field 5. Peace.